There is something that happens in your brain every single night while you sleep that most people over 60 have never been told. Your brain has its own cleaning crew. It only comes out when you're unconscious. And this is the part that surprised me when I first read the research. The position you sleep in tonight will decide how well that crew can do its job. I will not say the pillow, the room temperature, or whether you had coffee, but the angle of your body. That's it. And before you panic, please don't. I want to say two things right at the start. First, the science here is real, but it has been twisted online into something it isn't. Second, the fix, if a fix is even needed for you, is the simplest thing I'll ever ask you to do in any video on this channel. Before we go any further, please allow me a moment for something important. I am a careful reader who brings you what mainstream medical research has actually shown, and that's all this channel has ever claimed to be. This video is for educational purposes only and is not in any way a substitute for medical advice. The information you'll hear today comes from peer-reviewed studies and trusted sources. But science evolves, individual bodies differ, and no video on the internet can know what your own doctor knows about you. If you have a heart condition, sleep apnea, acid reflux, chronic pain, or any ongoing health concern, please speak to your physician before changing your sleep habits. They know you. I don't. Please watch the video until the end, and you'll understand your own brain better than 90% of the people walking around today. My name is Marcus Reeve, and let's begin. I want to tell you, before we go any further, why I chose to make this particular video. In the last few weeks, I've had several messages from viewers, kind people, careful people, people in their 70s, telling me they had stopped sleeping properly because of something they had seen online about brain damage and sleep position. One man wrote that he was setting alarms in the middle of the night to check which side he was on. Another said his wife had been crying because she was a lifelong back sleeper and was now convinced she had been damaging her brain for 50 years. That's not a small thing. That's a stolen evening. That's an honest worry that didn't need to exist. And so I sat down with the research, the real research, in real medical journals, and tried to put together a picture that's both true and peaceful. That's what I want to give you today. In 2012, a research team at the University of Rochester Medical Center, led by a Danish neuroscientist named Dr. Marcus, found something in mouse brains that had been hiding in plain sight for the entire history of medicine. They discovered that the brain has its own waste removal system, not the same as the lymphatic system that runs through the rest of your body, a different one, unique to the brain, that uses cerebrospinal fluid to flush out the metabolic byproducts your brain produces every day. They called it the glymphatic system because it works through glial cells, the support cells of the brain, and behaves like the lymphatic system everywhere else. And here is the part that captured the world's attention. This system is mostly inactive when you're awake. It switches on dramatically when you fall asleep. While you sleep, the spaces between your brain cells actually expand by about 60%, and cerebrospinal fluid pours through, washing out the waste products that have built up during the day. One of those waste products is a protein called beta amyloid, the same protein that, in large amounts, is associated with Alzheimer's disease. I want you to hear that clearly because it matters. The glymphatic system, during sleep, helps clear beta amyloid from the brain. This is one reason that researchers now believe poor sleep, over many decades, may contribute to the risk of cognitive decline. That's the foundation. Real research, published in real journals, replicated in real laboratories. Now, and this is where we have to be careful, let's talk about what came next. In 2015, Another research group, led by Dr. Helene Benveniste at Stony Brook University, asked a follow-up question. If the glymphatic system works during sleep, does the position of sleep matter? They tested this on rats. They used special MRI imaging to watch how fluid moved through the brains of rats sleeping in 3 different positions: on their backs, on their stomachs, and on their sides. The result, published in the Journal of Neuroscience, was clear in their experiment. The lateral position, what we would call side sleeping, produced the most efficient glymphatic transport. The waste cleared faster. The amyloid moved out more completely. Side sleeping won. Now, this is where the internet got hold of the story and ran with it for a decade. Every wellness influencer, every neurosurgeon warning video, every health blog has been recycling this 2015 rat study ever since. I want to give you the actual context, because the context changes the picture. First, this was a study in rats, not humans. The first solid evidence that a glymphatic system even exists in the human brain wasn't published until 2019, and even then, scientists are still working out how it behaves, how fast it moves, and how much sleep position truly affects it in people like you and me. Second, the rat study did not say that back sleeping causes brain damage, or Alzheimer's, or any disease. It said that, in this particular experiment, side sleeping moved fluid more efficiently. Those are very different sentences. Third, and perhaps most importantly, there is a separate line of research in humans that is genuinely interesting. Researchers have noticed that patients with neurodegenerative disease, mild cognitive impairment, early Alzheimer's, tend to sleep more on their backs than people with healthy cognition. About 72% of those with cognitive decline spent at least 2 hours a night on their backs, compared to 37% of those with healthier brains. But pause here with me. Tend to sleep more on their backs and back sleeping caused their decline are not the same thing. It might be the other way around. Early brain changes may affect how people choose to sleep, or both might be caused by something else entirely. We don't yet know. Honest science says so, and so do I. Now I want to address something specific, because it's been circulating with particular force. You may have seen a video or read a post claiming that when you sleep on your back, your internal jugular vein gets compressed and traps toxic waste in your skull. The image is dramatic. The implication is that every night on your back is doing damage. Here's what the actual research shows, very specifically. When you lie on your right side, your right internal jugular vein, the main blood vessel draining blood from your head, stays wide open, and your left one partially collapses. When you lie on your left side, the opposite happens. This is normal. It's how human anatomy works. Most people have a dominant right jugular vein, which is one reason that right-side sleeping may, in theory, slightly improve drainage. But here's what the dramatic videos don't tell you. When you sleep on your back, both jugular veins are open. Back sleeping does not collapse the jugular. The compression story has been twisted from research that was actually about side sleeping, not back sleeping. The science does not support the idea that lying on your back is trapping toxins in your skull. So if you have been losing sleep over a video that told you your back sleeping is poisoning your brain, please let that go tonight. The truth is more modest, more interesting, and much more peaceful. Side sleeping appears to be slightly better for glymphatic flow in the studies done so far. Back sleeping is not actively harmful for your brain in any way the research has demonstrated. There are reasons some people, individually, should avoid sleeping on their back. Sleep apnea is the biggest one. If you snore heavily, stop breathing in your sleep, or wake up gasping, back sleeping can worsen it, and this is genuinely worth discussing with a doctor. Acid reflux is another. Some heart conditions too. But these are personal medical reasons, not universal, your brain is being poisoned reasons. I want you to hold the difference in your mind. Personal medical reasons, yes. Universal panic, no. Let me put the science together for you in a way I think makes more sense than what you've been hearing. Imagine for a moment that your brain is a sponge. During the day, the sponge soaks up the byproducts of all the thinking you do. Proteins, metabolites, small molecules. When you sleep, your body needs to wring the sponge out. That wringing happens through fluid movement. Cerebrospinal fluid flowing in, interstitial fluid flowing out, waste products carried away through your veins. For this wringing to work well, 3 things help: deep sleep, good blood flow out of the brain, and a body position that doesn't get in the way. Side sleeping appears to be the position that least gets in the way. Your dominant jugular drains freely. Your breathing pattern is steady. There's less pressure on your abdomen, which can interfere with the rhythm of blood flowing back to your heart. The system, as a whole, just seems to work a little better. That's it. That's the whole story. Not back sleeping kills your brain. Just side sleeping appears to help your brain a little more. If you are already a side sleeper, congratulations. You've been doing the right thing your whole life without thinking about it. If you sleep on your back, you don't need to panic. You may want to consider trying side sleeping for other reasons we'll talk about in a moment, but you are not damaging yourself. If, after all of this, you want to encourage side sleeping, here is the gentlest, most practical advice I can give you. First, the right side is probably slightly better than the left for most people, because of that dominant right jugular vein we talked about. But honestly, either side is far better than worrying about which side. If your shoulder hurts on one side, sleep on the other. If you have acid reflux, your doctor may actually tell you the left side is better for you because of the anatomy of your stomach. Listen to your doctor over me, always. Second, use pillows to make it easy. A pillow between your knees keeps your hips aligned and your lower back happy. A pillow hugged against your chest stops you from rolling onto your back during the night. A slightly thicker pillow under your head keeps your neck in a neutral position, so your shoulder doesn't ache by morning. Third, if you wake up on your back, do not, I repeat, do not feel like you've failed. Many people shift positions naturally throughout the night, and this is completely normal. Researchers studying this don't expect anyone to spend 8 straight hours frozen in one position. The goal, if you want a goal, is to spend more of your sleep on your side, not all of it. Fourth, and this is the most important thing I can tell you in this entire video, the quality of your sleep matters far, far more than the position of your sleep. A solid 7 hours of deep sleep on your back is dramatically better for your brain than 4 restless hours of fitful side sleeping. Don't sacrifice sleep quality to chase the perfect position. The glymphatic system needs you asleep first, and on your side second. I want to take a moment to tell you what this video is not, because the wellness corner of the internet has gotten very good at making people feel guilty about basic human activities. This video is not a promise that you can prevent Alzheimer's by changing your sleep position. The research does not support that claim. There are many factors involved in cognitive decline, and we are very far from a one trick to prevent dementia world. This video is not a warning that you have been damaging your brain for decades. You have not been. Whatever you have been doing in your sleep for 60 or 70 years, your brain has been doing its best work alongside you with whatever tools it had. Brains are remarkably resilient. This video is not telling you to buy a special pillow, a special mattress, or a special device. Nothing here requires a purchase. If a video about sleep position tries to sell you a product at the end, that's the moment to close the tab. And this video is not, in any way, a substitute for talking to your doctor about your sleep. If you snore loudly, gasp in your sleep, wake up unrefreshed, have trouble falling or staying asleep, or notice any cognitive changes, please speak to your own physician. Those are the things that actually matter, and a doctor who knows you can help in ways no video ever could. While we're here, let me say a word about what the research actually does support for long-term brain health. Because if you only remember the sleep position part of this video, you'll miss the larger story. Sleep itself, getting enough of it, getting good quality, is one of the most powerful protective factors for the brain. 7 to 8 hours, most nights, in a dark and quiet room is worth more than any sleep position trick. Movement during the day, even gentle walking, has been shown in studies to actually improve glymphatic clearance, partly by improving overall circulation. You don't have to run marathons. A daily walk does real work. Social connection, reading, learning, conversation, all of these protect cognitive function over decades in ways that no body position can replicate. The brain stays young by being used. Blood pressure control, blood sugar control, hearing aids when you need them. These all show stronger evidence for protecting cognition than anything I could tell you about sleep position. Let me say one more word about hearing, because I think it gets overlooked too often. A large body of research, including a major study published in The Lancet in recent years, has identified untreated hearing loss as one of the single largest modifiable risk factors for cognitive decline in people over 60. When the brain has to strain constantly to understand speech, it burns resources that could be spent elsewhere. Over years and decades, this matters. If you have noticed yourself asking people to repeat themselves more often, or turning the television up a little louder each year, please consider getting your hearing checked. It is one of the most powerful things you can do for your long-term brain health, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with the position you sleep in. I tell you these things because I want you to leave this video with the right priorities. Side sleeping is a small, free, easy adjustment that probably helps a little. The other things on this list are where the real protection lies. So let me bring it together for you. There is a real cleaning system in your brain called the glymphatic system that does its work while you sleep. Side sleeping appears, in the research done so far, to be the position that best supports it. The right side is probably slightly better than the left for most people because of how the jugular veins drain. Back sleeping is not poisoning you. Stomach sleeping is less ideal, mostly for breathing reasons. None of this is an emergency, and none of this requires you to change your life tonight. If you'd like to try side sleeping, use pillows to make it comfortable. If you wake up on your back, you have not failed. Sleep quality matters more than sleep position. And the bigger picture, exercise, social connection, blood pressure, hearing, learning, is where the real long-term protection of your brain happens. The internet will continue to tell you that your sleep posture is destroying you and that you must act tonight or face permanent damage. That is not what the science says. The science is gentler, slower, more uncertain, and far more peaceful than that. The science is on the side of your sleep, not against it. If this video helped you, please leave a comment letting me know and share it with anyone in your life over 60 who has been worried about all of this. We're not here to sell fear. Our goal is to give you back your peaceful evenings. Take care of yourself, my friend. Sleep well tonight, in whatever position your body wants to find. Talk to your doctor about anything that concerns you, because they know you and I don't. Take care of yourself until the next video. See you.